So we're the remanufacturing arm of CNH on a global basis. We've got about 92% of our business that we push through the US and Canada, but we essentially offer over 4,000 part numbers that fit exclusively Case, New Holland, Case IH equipment out in the field. And we sell that through a distribution network of roughly 1,800 dealers between the US and Canada, with a portion of that business going to Europe and the Australia region as well. So this particular piece of business and this remanufacturing facility has been in business about 15 years now, just over it. And with that, we've had a compound annual growth rate of over 10% per year. So the business has grown quite a bit, and with that, we've got a lot more part numbers and a lot more offering that we're forecasting day to day. So we were going into last year, we're looking at sustainable, strong growth in 2025, and what we were seeing is we were tying up a lot of cash in inventory at the end of the day, and our turns weren't where we want them. And ultimately, there's two things we're really graded on. We're really graded on product availability for the dealer network to support their customers. We're in one of the most seasonal businesses that you can imagine, with over 90% of our business going into the agricultural market. You got planting season and you got harvest. So you got two big seasonal swings there. But really, we had inventories that were too high and we didn't have the right parts at the right time. Forecast accuracy was running as bad as 50% going into the year, and we needed a solution to really figure out, how do we have the right parts at the right time and how do we free up more cash? We were really amazed we had a board meeting in February of last year, and even a board meeting before that in November, where we first started talking about some of the forecasting issues. And it seems like as soon as our general manager, James, put that AI forecasting topic out there to the IT team, we had about 10 companies to choose from. And they narrowed it down to 2 that they reviewed with the whole leadership team, where I got pulled in, and it was really night and day, the PoleLogic approach versus the other company that made it down to the final 2, how it was kind of tailored to our business and the amount of data that was requested, the preparation, the hands-on, and the experience that they had with other manufacturers and dealer networks to essentially nail down what the forecasting should be, really stood out to us. If you look about 8 years ago, we started collecting a lot more dealer data from a CNH perspective, looking at what they carry in inventory and what they're retailing across the counters at the part number level. And we've never really used that data for our forecasting. We've always just looked at what are dealer purchases and when are they buying it from a wholesale perspective. So the biggest thing that I've seen with all of this is now we're taking a lot of that into account and using a lot of the expertise from PoleLogic to understand, what do the dealers need and when, based off what they like to carry, what are their inventory carrying trends, and what are their retail trends in those specific months. So we have the parts from a dealership perspective where they need it at the right time. It's really proactive versus we've been pretty reactive. When we just look at that wholesale demand and we look at certain things like system fill or facing fill and seeing where our parts are on the network to service these dealers, we're not looking at the whole picture. And I think looking at more of these PAR and RAP scores gives a more proactive approach, so that as we go into these big seasons, we can accurately grade, are we ready to support this demand that's going to be coming into the dealerships at that given time. Yeah, I mean, ultimately, our job at CNH Reman and CNH Parts and Service is to maximize dealer support and maximize the parts sales through the network to ultimately better support the end customers. Really what we're trying to do with that is get these guys ready to support these machines that are going to be coming into the shops. And I think really where this could go is, as opposed to just us better forecasting everything from a wholesale perspective to the dealers by looking at their retail trends and inventory trends, we can actually recommend better orders to the dealers to get them ready for these certain seasons. Today, we try to measure the dealer on, hey, if they have a specific part number that's retailed over 2 times in the last 12 months, we say you should stock this. But at the end of the day, I think it could help them ultimately better manage their inventory at any given time to have more just-in-time inventory for the peak seasons, but also stock a lot more of the parts that are going to be retailed during that peak season. The other thing that really impressed us as we were going through the whole RFP process, and I've worked with PoleLogic over the last 6 months in launching this tool, is just the academic side of it, all of the know-how and all of the experience on the supply chain side, and how they mesh that with all the PhDs that they have in a room every time we're trying to come up with new concepts in the forecasting or work through solutions. It's really streamlined a lot of the things that we're trying to do to roll this out as we go into this new year.